Do you feel nervous before job interviews? Do you worry that your English will not be good enough? You are not alone. Many people feel this way. This is the story of Jacob. He was just like you. He wanted a job in a good company, but he had a problem. His English was not bad, but during interviews he froze. He studied hard, but forgot everything when it mattered. This story shows how he changed that and impressed his boss. Jacob always felt nervous before interviews. Even simple questions made his hands shake and his voice sound small and weak. He wanted a good job in a big company. But every time he faced the panel, he forgot the English he had learned for months. One day, his friend Leo gave him advice. Practice thinking in English. Don't translate. Just feel the language inside your head. Jacob laughed at first. But Leo added, start with job questions. Answer them out loud. Talk to yourself every morning. So Jacob tried it. In the mirror he asked, tell me about yourself. Then answered, I'm Jacob. I enjoy solving problems at work. He did this daily. What are your strengths? I'm a good listener. I stay calm in stressful situations. It started to feel natural. His confidence grew. He no longer searched for words. The sentences came out like flowing water, clear, calm, and strong. A week later, Jacob got a call. A company liked his CV. They asked, can you come for an interview on Friday at 9 a.m.? He said yes, but inside, panic returned. What if I freeze again? What if I forget everything? He looked at the mirror again. This time, he smiled. I can do this. I've practiced. I know how to talk about myself. I will not run away from this chance. On Friday, he wore a simple shirt and pants. He looked sharp, but not too fancy. He arrived early and sat in the lobby. A man in a suit came out and said, Jacob? Jacob stood, shook hands, and followed the man into a quiet room with glass walls. Two people were there, Mr. Allen and Mr. Chris. They smiled politely and asked, why do you want to work with us? Jacob looked at them. Your company builds smart systems. I want to be part of a team that creates helpful technology. Chris nodded. Allen asked, what's your biggest weakness? Jacob took a breath. I used to avoid asking for help too long. He continued, now I ask early. I've learned that sharing problems helps the team, and we grow faster when we support each other. Chris smiled again. What do you know about our company? Jacob answered, I read your site. You care about clean tech solutions. Allen added, we like honest people. Tell us about a time you failed. Jacob paused. Once, I missed a client deadline. I was afraid to say I needed more time, but I told my manager the truth, and we worked late together. I learned from that. Chris and Allen looked at each other. Then Chris said, how do you deal with pressure? Jacob replied, I slow down. I stay focused. I also break problems into small parts. I don't let emotions control my mind. I use logic and take action step by step. They kept going. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I want to lead a team. But first, I want to learn everything I can. Allen leaned forward. Do you have questions for us? Jacob smiled. Yes. What does success look like in this role? Chris raised his eyebrows. Good question. It means solving problems fast with care and working well with others. Jacob nodded. That's what I want to do. He stood up, thanked them, and walked out. His back was straight. His voice never shook. Outside, Jacob let out a breath. He felt proud. He didn't just survive the interview. He was clear, calm, and real. Outside, Jacob let out a breath. He felt proud. He didn't just survive the interview. He was clear, calm, and real. As he walked to the train station, his phone buzzed. A message from Chris. Thank you for your time. We'll contact you soon. Jacob smiled. It wasn't a job offer yet, but he knew one thing, It was the first time he left an interview without regret. At home, he told Leo everything. I answered all the questions. I even asked them a question at the end. Leo grinned. That's the way. Remember, interviews are not tests. They are conversations. And today you had a good one. The weekend passed slowly. Jacob kept checking his email. He didn't want to seem desperate, but he really wanted this job. On Monday afternoon, he got the email. Subject: job interview result. His heart beat fast. He clicked. Then his eyes lit up. Dear Jacob, we are pleased to offer you the position. We believe you will be a strong addition to our team. Welcome aboard. Jacob shouted with joy, I got it. His voice echoed in his small room. He immediately called Leo and shared the good news. Leo said, You earned it. This is just the start. Now show them what you can do. Jacob nodded. He felt ready. His first day came fast. He arrived 10 minutes early. The office was modern with big windows and white desks. Chris met him at the door. Welcome, Jacob. Let me show you around. They walked past busy workers and quiet meeting rooms. He introduced Jacob to his team, Sam, Mike, and Ray. They shook hands and gave him a warm welcome. Chris said, Jacob will help us with the Smart Desk project. He'll assist Sam and report to me directly. Jacob smiled and said, I'm excited to join the team and help wherever I can. His voice was calm, his English smooth. Later, during lunch, Sam asked, What made you apply here? Jacob answered, I like the company's mission and your clean tech work. Sam nodded. That's important. Our work matters. But so does communication. We all speak English, even when it's hard. Jacob felt encouraged. He wasn't alone. Everyone was working hard to improve, to be better. That gave him strength. Over the next few weeks, Jacob worked on small tasks, writing reports, checking test results, helping with team meetings. One day, Chris gave him feedback. Your reports are clear, and you speak well in meetings. Keep going. But not all days were easy. Some days Jacob didn't understand a word in a meeting. He felt lost and silent. He went home, opened his notebook, and wrote the new words. Then he practiced them out loud, just like before the interview. He remembered Leo's advice. Don't give up. Speak every day, even to yourself. Let English live inside you. Jacob made it a habit. Before sleep, he spoke out loud. Today I worked on the test file. I helped Sam. I asked 3 questions. Each day he got a little better. He made fewer mistakes. He listened more, and his team started to trust him more. Then came the big moment. Chris said, Jacob, we want you to present your part of the project to the client next week. Jacob froze for a second. Me? Speak to the client? Chris smiled. Yes, you know the data. You understand the system. Jacob took a deep breath. Okay, I'll be ready. That night he couldn't sleep. His mind kept repeating the words, be ready. He stood in front of his mirror again. Good morning, everyone. Today I will explain the Smart Desk system and our test results. He said it over and over. He recorded himself and listened. Then he made it simpler, shorter, clearer, stronger. He practiced each part like a script. But his voice stayed natural, not robotic, just like a confident teammate. He showed it to Leo on video call. Leo gave him a thumbs up. This is good. You speak like someone who belongs there. The day came. Jacob wore his best shirt. He arrived early, checked the slides, and took a deep breath. He looked calm. Chris came over. You ready? Jacob nodded. Yes, I practiced a lot. I want to do my best. Chris smiled. That's all we ask. The client team entered the room. 4 people, suits, and serious eyes. Jacob felt his heart beat faster but stayed focused. Chris opened the meeting. Thank you for joining us. Today, Jacob will walk you through the Smart Desk update and testing. Jacob stood up. His palms felt cold, but his voice came out steady. Good morning. I'm Jacob. Thank you for being here today. He clicked the first slide. This is the new Smart Desk system. It helps users work better, faster, and with less energy use. He moved to the next part. We ran 3 tests. First, on speed. Second, on accuracy. Third, on energy savings. He explained the numbers clearly. The Smart Desk saved 20% more energy in Test 1, 18% in Test 2, and 22% in Test 3. He saw one of the clients write that down. Another one nodded. That gave Jacob more courage to keep going. The second test showed a 15% improvement in user typing speed. We believe this is from the new touch sensors. He answered 2 questions without panic. Yes, we plan to test in more conditions next month. No, there were no system crashes. At the end, Jacob said, "Thank you. I'm happy to answer more questions." He sat down. His hands were still cold, but he smiled. After the meeting, Chris whispered, "You did well." Clear and strong. The client liked it. Jacob felt a wave of relief. That night, Jacob wrote in his notebook, "I spoke to a client today. I did not freeze. I used English, and they understood me." He knew it was only the beginning. He wanted to grow more, speak better, and be a real part of the company's success. Weeks passed. Jacob joined more meetings, shared more ideas, and slowly became someone people asked for help. One Friday, Chris called him into his office. "You've made a lot of progress. We're thinking of giving you more responsibility." Jacob blinked. "Really?" Chris nodded. "Yes. A small team needs a leader for a short project. We'd like you to try." Jacob said, "Thank you. I will try my best." He walked out of the office with a mix of fear and excitement. That night, he called Leo again. "They want me to lead a team. Just a short project, but still. Me, a leader." Leo said, "You're ready. Leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being clear, helpful, and steady. Just like you were today." The project started on Monday. Jacob's new team had 3 people, Ray, Tony, and Max, each with a different style. At first, it was hard. Ray liked speed, Max liked details. Tony stayed quiet. Jacob had to speak clearly and stay calm. He made a plan, simple tasks, clear steps, 1 goal each day. He told the team, "We finish together. No rush, no stress." Each morning, they had a quick meeting. Jacob asked, "Any problems?" If someone said yes, they fixed it together. In the middle of the week, Max made a mistake in the test. He looked upset. Jacob said, "It's okay. Let's learn from it." Max smiled. "Thanks. I'll check it again." That moment made Jacob proud. He was helping not just with English, but with people. By the end of the week, the small project was done. Chris checked it and said, "This is good work. You kept the team steady." Jacob felt proud again. His English helped him. But it wasn't just about grammar or big words. It was about using the language to lead. A week later, Chris invited Jacob to a manager meeting. "We want you to join. Just observe. Listen to how we plan projects." Jacob said, "Thank you. I'll do my best." In the meeting room, there were 6 people, all talking fast, using business words. At first, Jacob felt lost. Words like timeline, pipeline, deliverables, and stakeholders flew around the room. He wrote each word down in his notebook. Later, he looked them up, found examples, and practiced saying them aloud. Chris noticed. "You take notes. That's good. Don't worry about speed. Focus on understanding the ideas." Day by day, Jacob grew more comfortable. He started to understand business English, not just the words, but the meaning behind them. One afternoon, Chris asked, Jacob, can you explain what we discussed yesterday to the intern? Jacob nodded.
He turned to the intern. We planned next week's work. We want to finish the second test and send results by Friday. Clear, simple, accurate. Chris gave a nod of approval. That's exactly right. Well done. Jacob's English had become a tool, a real skill, not perfect, but powerful. He used it to work, solve, and connect. Then something new happened. The company opened a position, junior project coordinator. Chris told him, you should apply. Jacob hesitated. Am I ready? Chris said, you're already doing the work. Now, it's time to make it official. He went home, sat at his desk, and opened a new document, job application letter. He started writing, Dear hiring team, I would like to apply for the position of junior project coordinator. I have been working with the team for. He stopped, then restarted. Dear team, I want to grow inside this company. I've led a small project and worked on SmartDesk. He wrote honestly, not fancy, but strong. My goal is to learn more, lead more, and help the team succeed every day. He read it out loud, fixed the grammar, and asked Leo to check. Leo said, this sounds like you. It's good. Send it. He attached his letter to the company system and clicked submit. Then he leaned back and let out a long breath. 2 days later, HR emailed him. Interview scheduled for Thursday, This time, it was inside the company. But Jacob knew internal interviews are just as serious. He returned to his mirror and practiced like before. Why do you want this role? Because I care about the team, the projects, and growing with this company. What do you bring to this position? I listen, I plan, I help, I make things move forward, even during pressure. He practiced with Leo on video call. Leo played the manager. What if a teammate disagrees with you? I ask why. I listen. If the reason makes sense, I follow. If not, I explain my view. We decide together. Leo nodded. Very professional. Thursday came. Jacob wore his usual shirt, clean, simple, smart. He walked into the office with quiet confidence. The interviewers were Chris and 2 other managers. Jacob, welcome. Let's start. He shook hands and sat down. Chris asked the first question. Tell us what you learned from your last project. Jacob replied, I learned how to plan better. He continued, I also saw that clear communication is more important than speed. A calm team is a strong team. The second manager asked, how do you deal with delays? Jacob said, I look at the cause. Then I create a new, clear plan. The third asked, why should we choose you? Jacob smiled, because I've shown you what I can do. Now, I want to do more. The room was quiet for a moment. Then Chris said, thank you, Jacob. We'll contact you soon. Jacob stood, smiled, and left. He didn't feel nervous this time. He knew he gave honest answers. He knew he had grown. That was enough. Back at his desk, he opened his notebook and wrote, I was not afraid today. I spoke clearly. I was myself. The next morning, an email came. Congratulations, Jacob. You are now our new junior project coordinator. His eyes widened. He covered his mouth, then smiled. This job meant more responsibility and more chances to grow. He shared the news with Leo. You did it again, Leo said. Every step forward came from practice, belief, and action. Jacob felt thankful. He had not just learned English. He had changed his life by learning to speak with purpose. In his new role, Jacob joined daily planning meetings. He now spoke with designers, engineers, and even senior managers. He used English every hour, writing updates, explaining issues, asking for status, giving small talks in meetings. One time, the CEO passed by and said, Hi Jacob, I heard your name in the last report. Good work on the timeline fix. Jacob froze for a moment, then replied, Thank you. I'm happy to help the team meet the goals. The CEO nodded and walked on. Later, Chris whispered, That was the CEO, and he noticed your work. Keep doing what you're doing. Jacob smiled. It felt unreal. A year ago, he was afraid to speak. Now, the boss knew his name. His days were full now. He had to balance deadlines and meetings, review documents, and support the team. Sometimes he still made small mistakes, a wrong tense, a missing article, but people understood, and they respected the message. He told the new intern, "Don't try to be perfect. Try to be clear. That's what matters most in this job." The intern said, "Your English sounds natural." Jacob laughed. "It didn't start that way. I practiced every day. You can too." That afternoon, he gave a short talk to the full team. "We met our target this month. Thank you for working with focus and care." He kept it simple, short sentences, active voice, positive tone. His English wasn't fancy, but it was strong. One of the senior managers came to him and said, "You're getting good at this. Would you like to lead the next planning session?" Jacob said yes. It would be his first full team meeting. He spent the weekend preparing slides, notes, and simple phrases. He opened the meeting on Monday. "Good morning, everyone. Let's look at this week's goals. We have 3 focus areas." He pointed to the first slide. Goal 1, finish testing by Wednesday. Goal 2, update documents. Goal 3, fix final bugs. His voice was firm. He asked for updates, took notes, and ended with, "Let me know if you need help." "My door is open." The team clapped. It was short, but smooth. Chris gave him a thumbs up from the back of the room. After the meeting, Sam said, "I've worked here 10 years. That was one of the clearest team meetings I've seen." Jacob replied, "Thank you. I try to speak in a way that everyone understands." Sam said, "You're doing it right." That night, Jacob walked home in the rain, smiling. The sky was gray, but his heart felt warm. He had grown so much. He wasn't the smartest or the fastest, but he showed up every day. He learned, spoke, and led even in a second language. The next week, HR asked Jacob, "Can you help with onboarding the new hires? Just explain how our team works." Jacob said yes. It felt strange. Not long ago, he was the new guy. Now, he was the one giving the introduction. He met the 2 new hires, Ryan and Ben. "Welcome to the team. Let me show you how we organize work and share updates." He kept his words simple. "Every morning, we have a short meeting. If you have a problem, don't wait, ask for help." Ryan asked, "What if I'm not sure about my English?" Jacob smiled. "That was me too. Just speak. We'll help each other." He told them, "English is a tool. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to work." Ryan and Ben both nodded. Over the next few days, Jacob helped them adjust. He explained software, timelines, and small tasks in clear, slow English. Ben said, "I like how you speak. It's easy to understand." Jacob replied, "That's what I learned. Clear is better than complex." Chris noticed how Jacob handled them. "You're good at mentoring. Maybe in the future, we'll ask you to train more people." Jacob smiled. "I'd like that." He remembered Leo's words, "Share what you learn. Help others rise too." One evening, Jacob received a message from Leo. "Hey, want to speak at our local tech club? Just share your journey." Jacob hesitated. In English, Leo wrote back, "Of course. That's what makes it powerful. People need to hear your story." Jacob said yes. He knew it was time to give back, to show others what's possible when you face fear and speak anyway. He prepared a short talk. "My name is Jacob. I want to tell you how English helped me go from nervous to confident at work." He practiced his story many times. He recorded it, timed it, and shortened long parts. He used short, clear sentences. On the day of the talk, about 25 people came. Some were students, some were job seekers. A few looked just like he used to. Jacob stood at the front. "I was afraid of job interviews. I forgot words. I felt small, but I changed one habit. I started speaking. I spoke to myself in English every morning. I didn't care if it was wrong. I just kept going. Slowly, it became easier. I stopped trying to be perfect. I started trying to be clear. That made all the difference." He paused, then said, "Today, I speak English every day at work. I lead meetings. I help others. And I still learn new words." The room was quiet. Then someone asked, "How did you learn to speak so naturally?" Jacob smiled. "By not being afraid to speak badly." They laughed. He added, "Speak first, correct later, but speak." The audience clapped. His message had landed. After the event, a young man named Joel came up. "Thank you. I always thought my English had to be perfect before I used it." Jacob said, "Use what you have now. The rest will come as you move. Just start." That night, Jacob felt something deep inside. This wasn't just about work anymore. It was about helping others believe. Back at work, he found himself guiding more people, interns, teammates, even someone from another department. People trusted him, not just because of his title, but because he listened, explained things well, and never acted superior. He knew how it felt to be scared, to be lost in fast English. And now, he helped others through that same storm. One morning, Chris called Jacob in. "We're starting a cross-team project. It involves marketing, sales, and design." Jacob nodded. "How can I help?" Chris said, "I want you to be our point of contact. You'll speak with the other teams." Jacob felt a mix of pride and fear. "I'll do my best." Chris smiled. "You're clear. That's what they need." Jacob joined his first cross-team meeting. People spoke faster. The topics were wide. Deadlines, clients, costs, reports. He stayed calm, took notes, asked questions when confused. "Sorry, can you explain that again?" became his most used phrase. At first, he felt unsure. "I don't know all the terms," he told Leo. Leo said, "Ask when you don't know. That's how you learn." So Jacob asked a lot, and people respected that. No one laughed. Most even said, "Good question." As days passed, he understood more. He learned business English terms like budget, KPIs, brief, and pipeline. He wrote them down, found examples online, and made his own short explanations. He read them before each meeting. Soon, something shifted. People started coming to Jacob with questions. "Can you explain what sales said in that call?" Jacob became a bridge. He translated complex English into simple words. "They want us to change the button color for the ad." He didn't need big words. He needed clear ones. That made him valuable, not just smart, but easy to work with. One day, the marketing head, Mr. Patel, said, "Jacob, you explain things better than most native speakers." Jacob smiled. "Thank you. I practice speaking simply. It helps everyone," Mr. Patel said. "We need more of that." Then came a big opportunity. The company was joining an international tech expo. Chris said, "We need someone to present." Jacob looked up. "Me?" Chris nodded. "You've done this before." "This is a bigger stage, but the same skill, clear English." The expo was in 3 weeks. Jacob began preparing. He wrote his script in small parts, each sentence 10 to 12 words. He practiced with a timer. He simplified complex ideas. "Our system saves time and energy with smart design choices." He recorded, watched, and adjusted. No long words, no fast talking, just smooth, strong delivery. He asked Sam and Leo to listen. "Too fast?" "No, just right." "Clear enough?" "Crystal." At the expo, the hall was bright and full. People from many countries, many accents. Jacob walked onto the stage. He took a breath. "Good afternoon. I'm Jacob from Smart Tech. Today I'll show you our clean tech system, Smart Desk." He moved slide by slide. "This desk saves 22% energy. It's tested in 3 types of offices. Results are stable and strong." The audience was quiet. Some nodded. Some took photos. Jacob kept going. Confident, focused, clear. He ended with a short line. "Thank you for your time. I'm happy to answer your questions." People clapped. 3 came to ask more. One said, "You explained everything so clearly." Another said, "Your English is easy to follow." Jacob thanked them. Inside, he felt something powerful. "I don't speak perfect English," he thought, "but I speak English that works." That night, Jacob wrote, "I spoke at an expo. People listened. My voice reached across languages. All because I started speaking." A few days after the expo, Jacob returned to work. His team clapped as he entered. "You were great out there," said Sam. Chris added, "The CEO saw your talk. He was impressed. He wants to meet with you this Friday." Jacob blinked. "Me? Meet with the CEO?" Chris nodded. "Don't worry, just be yourself. He likes clear thinkers. The week passed slowly. Jacob prepared, not with slides this time, but with thoughts. What did I learn? What do I believe? Friday came. Jacob was called to the top floor. Big glass doors. A silent hallway. He walked in with slow, steady steps. The CEO stood, smiled, and shook his hand. Jacob, I've heard a lot about you. Thank you for joining me. They sat. The CEO said, "You speak simply. That's rare. I want to understand how you learned that." Jacob spoke honestly. I was afraid to speak at first. I forgot words. I avoided people, but I practiced every day. I stopped chasing perfect English. I started building useful English. Clear, short, strong. That changed everything. The CEO nodded. That's leadership. Make things simple for others. It helps the company move faster. Then he added, "We're planning a new language program for staff. I want you to help us design it." Jacob's eyes widened. Me? Design it? The CEO said, "Yes. You've lived it. You understand what people need." Jacob said yes. I'd be happy to help. He felt nervous, but ready. This was his chance to give back again. Over the next month, Jacob worked with HR, trainers, and managers. He helped shape the Speak for Success program. He told the trainers, "Don't just teach grammar, teach confidence. Show them how to use English in real life at work." The program had daily speaking practice, mirror drills, shadowing, role plays, real words, real work. Jacob recorded short lessons: how to join a meeting, how to ask for help, how to explain a task. His voice was calm, slow, and friendly. He used the same words that helped him grow. People across the company joined. Even shy workers started speaking up. One messaged Jacob, "Your voice made me try again." Another said, "I never liked English, but now it feels possible. Thank you." The CEO invited Jacob again. "The numbers are good. More staff speak in meetings now. Your idea worked." Jacob smiled. "It wasn't just my idea. It was a shared goal. I just showed them it's okay to speak, even with mistakes." The CEO said, "That mindset, that's culture. We need people like you. Would you consider joining the leadership program?" Jacob felt speechless. The leadership program? That was for future directors. He said, "Yes, I'm honored." That night, he called Leo again. "Guess what? They want me in the leadership track." Leo laughed. "Of course, they do. You've been leading all this time. They're just naming it now." Jacob thought about the last year. Interviews, reports, meetings, expo, CEO, language training. It was all one journey. He went to his mirror again, this time not to practice, but to reflect. "You did this," he said to his reflection. Then he whispered, "And it all started with one simple step, speaking out loud, even when I was afraid." The leadership program began the next week. Jacob joined 10 others, some senior engineers, a sales lead, and a product manager. They met every Tuesday. The sessions were in English. The topics were complex strategy, decision-making, innovation. Jacob listened carefully. He took notes. When asked to speak, he took a breath and kept his words short but clear. One day, the trainer said, "Explain your team's biggest challenge in 2 minutes." Jacob stood up. He said, "My team needs clearer timelines. When goals are unclear, we waste time. We need better planning tools." The trainer smiled. "Very good. You shared a real issue and offered a simple solution. That's executive thinking." Each week, Jacob grew stronger. He wasn't just learning how to lead teams. He was learning how to lead in English. He spoke in group discussions. He gave feedback. He even started helping others in the program express their thoughts better. One manager said, "You help me say what I mean. You always find the right words." Jacob smiled. "I used to search too." Then came a surprise. HR asked him to mentor someone from another branch, a new employee named Ethan. Ethan joined through a remote work program. He was skilled, but quiet. In meetings, he spoke very little. Jacob sent him a message. "Hi, I'm Jacob. Want to chat for 10 minutes this Friday?" Just casual. On Friday, they met on video call. Jacob asked, "How's work?" Ethan said, "Good, but I worry about my English in meetings. Jacob nodded. I was like that too. Want to try something simple? Talk for 30 seconds about your job. Ethan tried. His words came out slow, but clear. Jacob said, "Good. Let's do it again, but faster." They practiced twice a week. Small talks, easy topics. Over time, Ethan started speaking more in meetings. 2 months later, Chris told Jacob, "Ethan gave a report today. His English was sharp. I heard you helped him." Jacob said, "He helped himself. I just gave him space to try." Chris replied, "That's what leaders do." Jacob felt proud, but also thankful. He remembered every person who helped him. Leo, Chris, Sam, even the HR team. One evening, he called Leo. "Guess what? I'm now a mentor. I help others speak like you helped." Leo said, "That's perfect. Now, you are the voice of courage for someone else." Jacob thought about it. A full circle, from fear to voice, from silence to leadership, all built step by step. The year was almost over. The CEO invited Jacob to the annual company gathering. There were hundreds of people in the hall, some from other cities, some from other countries. The CEO went on stage. "This year, one person showed us what clear language, steady growth, and daily courage look like." Then he said, "Jacob, please come up." Jacob stood up slowly, heart racing, and walked to the stage. The CEO handed him a small award. Voice of clarity. People clapped. Some stood. Some whistled. Jacob looked out. A sea of faces. He took the mic. "I started with small words, simple sentences, just like many of you. I was afraid, but I spoke anyway. I made mistakes. I kept going, and little by little I changed. I still learn. I still practice. But I speak now not because I'm perfect, but because I want to grow." He ended with a smile. "You can too. Just speak, one word at a time." The crowd clapped again, louder this time. That night, Jacob stood outside the building, holding the award. The city lights glowed. He felt at peace. Jacob walked home that night under the soft city lights. The award in his hand felt light, but the journey behind it felt heavy. He remembered everything. The first interview, the shaking hands, the fear of forgetting words, the mirror talks, the practice. He whispered to himself, "Thank you for not giving up." Not to someone else, but to the version of himself who kept trying. At home, he placed the award on his desk, next to his old English notebook, pages full of simple sentences and old hopes. He smiled. That's where it started. Not with luck, not with talent, but with effort. Small, repeated effort. The next morning, he opened a blank page in his notebook. At the top, he wrote, "What I know now." Then he wrote, 1. English is not just a language. It is a bridge to your future. 2. You don't need big words. You need clear words. 3. People respect honesty, not perfection. 4. Speaking is the only way to learn speaking. 5. Fear never disappears, but courage grows. He paused, then added, 6. If you help one person speak, you've changed a life. Later that week, a young intern named Daniel joined. He sat alone in the cafeteria. Jacob walked over with a tray. "Hey, Jacob, mind if I join you?" Daniel nodded. "Sure, I'm still trying to learn everyone's name." They talked. Small talk at first. Then Daniel said, "I'm nervous about the work. And also, my English isn't strong." Jacob smiled. "That makes two of us at the start. Want to know a secret?" Daniel leaned in. Jacob whispered, "I once forgot my own name in an interview, but I still got the job. Want to know how?" Daniel laughed. "How?" Jacob said, "I didn't stop. I didn't wait to be perfect. I just kept speaking." They both laughed again, and a new journey quietly began. Weeks later, Daniel gave his first project update. Nervous, slow, but clear. Jacob sat at the back and gave a small nod. He knew that nod. It was the same one Leo gave him a year ago. A silent way of saying, "You're doing great. Keep going." That night, Jacob wrote again in his notebook. One line only. "The voice I once feared has become the voice I give to others." The story of Jacob is not special because he became a manager or because he won an award. It's special because he showed what's possible when you speak, when you let your voice grow, even if it shakes at first. So if you're watching this now and thinking, "My English isn't good enough," remember this. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need a big vocabulary. You just need to start right where you are. Speak out loud. Practice in the mirror. Answer interview questions to yourself. Use English every day, even in small ways. One day, you'll look back and say, "Did it. I spoke. I grew. I changed." Not by magic, not by chance, but by choice. And maybe, just maybe, someone will look at you one day and say, "Because of you, I started speaking too." Thank you for listening to Jacob's story. Now it's your turn. Open your mouth. Say your name. Tell your story. In English, your future is waiting.